everybody, to episode 2 of Am I the Asshole? So the rules are as follows. I'm going to read the prompt. We are going to respond if we think they are the asshole, not the asshole, if everyone sucks, no one sucks, if you need more information. And then I will read the prompt, and then we will respond again if we're right, and then we'll find out what the internet determined. So the first one. Am I the asshole for filing charges against my roommate and suing her for my hospital bill?
Yes.
It depends on why.
I mean, no.
If the roommate beat the crap out of her, then no, she's not.
Yeah, like I want more information. It's such a big headline. Should I file charges and sue for my hospital bill? You end up in the hospital. Like, okay.
I'm gonna guess what happened.
All right. When I was 20 and in college, I was living.
She didn't let you. I don't think she heard you. He wanted to guess what happened.
Oh, what is it? What do you think?
I guess that the roommate cooked something that she was allergic to. She ate it, and had a really bad allergy reaction, and that's what she wants to sue.
You're a brat, and you're right.
No way.
How'd you know that?
Am I really right?
Read it. You are ready.
Right, yeah.
No, I swear to everything. I never read it. I swear.
I got another one that's very similar.
No, just keep going.
Okay. So it says, when I was 20 and in college, I was living with my two best friends. One of them was moving out to live with her boyfriend. I placed an ad for a new roommate. That's how I met Erin. Before she moved in, she informed me that she was a vegetarian, but wouldn't have a problem if her roommates weren't. She moved in a month later. The next day, after she moved in, she cooked breakfast for us. I was surprised. We didn't ask her to, and in her words, she was just trying to be nice. She made pancakes, bacon strips, and hash browns. I'm deathly allergic to a few things, so I immediately asked her what was in the food, but didn't mention my allergies, which was a huge mistake. She listed the ingredients, and I didn't find anything that I was allergic to. A note is that she told me that it was regular bacon, not that it was fake bacon with soy. I started eating, and everything tastes a bit off. I try the bacon, and there's definitely something wrong. At this point, she goes, ta-da! And she smugly says, I bet that tastes exactly like meat. So I'm freaking out. I told her I'm severely allergic to soy, and if there was soy, and to tell me if there was soy. Now she's apologizing, says she didn't know, and that she's sorry that she lied. I'm going into anaphylactic shock, throat closing, dizzy, the works. My best friend freaks out and calls an ambulance. I had to stay in the hospital for 2 days with the U.S. healthcare system. The ambulance in my hospital stay racked up a lot of money that I didn't have. In the meantime, I filed a complaint with the police. Food tampering is a felony. I had a lucky break that my friend had filmed the breakfast to post to Instagram, so the whole thing was on video. Erin pled guilty to a low-degree felony, didn't get jail time, just community service. When she pled guilty, I sued for the hospital bills and won. I did all of this under the advice of my uncle's friend who is a lawyer. He said that it would be easy to sue once there was a guilty verdict, and during this time, I had no contact with Erin. Erin lost her scholarship and had to drop out of school. She also went into debt paying the medical fees. I saw her on Facebook recently, and she's still down on her luck. I guess a felony makes things hard no matter how small the charge was. I know she's the asshole for lying about food, but I want to know whether I'm the asshole for everything I did after. I basically screwed a person's life up because they put the wrong ingredients on breakfast and they made to do something nice. There's an edit that says, people keep bitching like I wrote the law on food tampering. I was the person, and that I was the person who decided what charges to file. Nope, I'm going to redo that last sentence. I don't know what I typed here. Okay. People keep bitching like I wrote the law on food tampering. I wasn't the person who decided what charges would be filed, and I wasn't the judge or the jury who gave the verdict. So essentially, a roommate was vegetarian, made breakfast, said that it was all regular food.
Yeah.
She had the allergic reaction, and then she filed charges. I don't think she's the asshole here. I mean,
I think she
is to an extent. I don't think she should have brought the law into it. And maybe would have asked her to help me pay off those bills.
Well, so here's the problem with that. If it's just like a handshake agreement, there's nothing that can be done. Like she had to sue for it because they were both 20. She probably didn't have a great job. They're in school. I mean, I didn't have enough
I
money
really
to
think
pay
what
off
she
it.
was probably doing was trying to expose them to a non-meat option, but first get them to like it and then be like, oh, guess what? This
But
is.
why lie?
But
And I
personally,
don't think
though,
she purposely lied in the
yeah,
sense of, like, I think she didn't know that it had soy in it. You know what I
No,
mean?
like she said specifically when asked that it was regular bacon. So
Yeah, but
like,
I think that she didn't realize that the fake bacon had soy in it.
well, but even still, so the girl said that she didn't tell her new roommate her allergies, but I mean, if somebody told me this is regular bacon,
Like, to be
wouldn't
honest, I think that they're both assholes.
yeah, no, I was gonna say that. Like
But
personally, though, like if I had like, see, if I had allergies, and I don't know, it's allergies. There's obviously more than one thing, and I had a brand new person coming into my apartment to be my roommate. I would say, hey, look, I have allergies. I'm allergic to a few things. So here's a list. So you know that
and
when
I would be like, and be sure you check the ingredients
Yeah,
on
but if you
things in
were to
case it
expect me
has it
to
and you don't
cook
know.
for you,
Or
would
I
you
would just be
expect
like,
me?
I'll cook my own food.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. Like this was like the first day after she moved in, she decided to be nice and make breakfast, which
yeah,
is
but there's an
nice, but
agreement. Like, but then again, it's like I feel like I don't know. This is how I assume things work, right? But
I'm
like
also kind of curious why the one with the allergies didn't have an EpiPen on hand.
not
I mean
just
she
like
might have, but you still have to go to the hospital
Yeah.
after you use an
yeah,
EpiPen. Like the EpiPen just like slows down the reaction. You still have to go to the hospital.
yeah. But like when if you were to have a roommate, right? And obviously the roommate just doesn't come in and says, "Hey, I'm paying the rent this month. I want to take a room." Obviously, you have an agreement. Like when you have an agreement and sit down with someone, don't you say like, "Hey, like this is what you can do. This is what you can't do. This is what I'm
Not the first
allergic to."
day.
But an agreement, like before someone takes the room,
Well,
is
yeah,
there
but
no?
that
That's what I'm
wouldn't
saying.
include, what you're allergic to.
No, but like if you're coming to my flat to be my roommate, or that means like obviously they're gonna speak to you about it. Unless it's like a house share, that's a bit different. Obviously the landlord's different, but I feel like in general, like she must have spoken to the person. Like I feel like
Well,
there's no
yeah,
way
no,
the
she
person just
spoke to
walked.
them, but she didn't
Yeah,
like tell her that her food allergies. Like I
Like,
don't
okay,
bacon
so
is
if I
addictive.
have an allergy and it is to the point I would die from it, like it's
yeah,
so bad that, because I've developed the meat allergy to red meats, but all it does is make me throw up until every bit of red meat is out of my system. Pretty much is what it does. Um, but like if I had one that would put me in anaphylactic shock, I would be having a sign in the kitchen or wherever that's like, I'm allergic to all of these, and have a
yeah.
list of everything that I am allergic to.
Like
Just
that's
a
why,
reminder
yeah.
to anyone that's there, you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because like
that,
I feel like she's ruined someone else's life. Personally, I feel like she was irresponsible, not being up saying like I said, like if I have allergies, you're gonna know I have allergies. Even if the subject doesn't correlate, right? I'm gonna say, hey, I'm allergic to nuts and eggs and this and that, so it's
yeah.
like I said, she's ruined the whole life because she kind of was irresponsible and couldn't say, hey, before you buy shopping or groceries, I'm allergic to this type of stuff.
I mean, and maybe it's partly, because if you're one of those people with those type of allergies, like it's really hard because, like in the schools, if a child at the school is allergic to peanuts or
Any
nuts,
one child, nobody can.
nobody is allowed to send
remember-
any sort of peanut products or
I
nut
remember the
products.
peanut butter and jelly sandwich ban
And
when
parents throw a fit over that. Like, that's all my kid will eat. Well, I'm sorry, but that could kill the other kids. So you're just going to have to deal with it. Your kid's going to have to deal
Yeah,
with that.
Yeah.
And that's hard to deal with on the part of the person with the allergy or their parents or whoever, because then you're the one who's the bad guy when that poor child can't help it that they're allergic to that. Like, I'm sorry, but your kid's going to have to eat something different. Like, get over it. Your kid's not going to die from having to eat a food other than peanut butter.
yeah,
This kid
Yeah.
could if they do. So it's
So-
like a,
So the part on this that I focused on was really just that, like, I think that everybody does suck in this situation, but I do feel that the poster is less of an asshole, and here's why. Um, the new roommate Erin came in and was doing like a gotcha. She said that she was fine if you weren't a vegetarian, and if she had been like, "Hey, I made regular bacon, but I also made this, fake bacon. Do you want to try some?" that's something totally different. She didn't. She came in and
Just
she
not make
wanted
bacon.
yeah. Well, she came in and but they do it with everything. Like I have fake eggs, I have fake, all of that stuff. So she came in and she wanted to do a gotcha of like, oh, you ate fake bacon and you thought it was the real thing. And it's like, okay, so
It's not the real thing.
The other part of this is really just that, we're focusing on it ruined Aaron's life, but the original poster, if it was real bacon, would not have ended up in the hospital. So she wouldn't have had those bills. If she didn't sue this girl, she would have had to pay those hospital bills by herself. And as a 20-year-old in high school, that would have ruined her life. And they said that in order to sue, you needed felony charges. And unfortunately, like she's right. She didn't make the laws on what is food tampering and what's a felony and what's not. It's unfortunate, but I just think that it was like really irresponsible of the girl. But that's because I have such a hatred of vegans and vegetarians who are like, gotcha. Like, no, if you want to introduce people to your food and to the substitutions, tricking them into it is never the right call. And it's rude and it's horrible. And like with everybody being so allergic to everything nowadays.
I do that to my parents.
Yeah, I was thinking that, I was like, didn't I said Lindsay did something like that,
but I know my parents are allergic to anything, so I'm not putting them at risk for anything.
I feel like
I'll use like veggie crumbles instead of hamburger meat.
I feel like if I had a brand new roommate, and then they would, even if I have no allergies, but like if a roommate I barely knew did something like that, I'll just look at them and be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like I don't know you like that. Like we have
like I wouldn't do it to other people, but I did to my parents. Yeah, I know,
There's a right and a wrong way, and I think that the new roommate was totally wrong and uncalled for, and like it totally sucks that it ruined her life and that she had this felony charge. But at the end of the day, like a judge convicted her, a jury convicted her. Like it wasn't this other 20-year-old girl who was just like, "You're guilty, give me a ton of money," and like a 2-day stay in the hospital for an allergic reaction. I mean, that's got to be at least $5,000, if not 10 or 20. Like
the ambulance ride alone is going to be probably a couple $1,000.
Yeah, it's at least $2,000. So, and I've seen people who had no medical care in the ambulance, and their ambulance ride was like $1,500. And so it's like she would have actually needed support because she was literally having an allergic reaction. That would not be a cheap ambulance.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's very. I feel like everybody's an asshole.
Yeah.
So I have a funny, expensive story. So Sagan once put some little rocks in his mouth when we were fishing or feeding some fish. And then he didn't poop and his tummy was hurting for a couple of days. I'm like, and it's like a weekend or something. So like the urgent care wasn't open and he started like having really bad poop problem. Or no, he finally started pooping and it was just like green and didn't look good. And I'm like, oh my God, what if he's got like an internal infection or there's some sort of blockage somewhere? So I take him to the ER and there's nothing. They scan him. There's nothing there. He just has a tummy ache. So, so one of our ERs here locally, they don't bill for your ER visit entirely. The hospital bills you, and then the doctor that sees you bills you separately. So the doctor that saw him, and he has 2 different insurances. He has our normal insurance through Anthony's job, and then the state-funded children's insurance that pretty much everyone's on unless you're rich, like you're super wealthy. So it just kind of covers whatever our insurance doesn't cover. And then we have like, there's different tiers of it. So if you're like super low poverty level, then you don't pay anything for anything, for kids. And then like the one we're on, we like have a copay, we have to pay for some stuff. So he's got 2 insurances. So even though we went to the ER, technically we shouldn't be paying much of anything, maybe a copay, and that'd be about it. And so then we get a bill where we've been turned over to collections for the physician's part of the bill. And I called the hospital about this, and they're like, well, they're actually a separate billing service than we are. But we sent them your insurance information, so they should have filed it on the insurance. Well, they didn't. And she said that this physician services that handles all the doctor's bills on their end tends to have an issue with not filing it on insurance. She suspects it's because the insurance companies negotiate a cheaper price. But if you're paying out of pocket, you have to pay the higher price. And by this point, it had been over 6 months. And so they couldn't file it on the insurance. It had been too long.
Oh my God.
So now we're still in collections and it's on our credit because of that, because they didn't file it on the insurance. And she told me to call them and let them know that the hospital sent you the insurance information, but you didn't file it on the insurance. That's not our fault. Do that, and then I will pay whatever's left after the insurance.
Yeah.
So I did that. I called them, and they were like, oh my God, you're right. It is our mistake. We never filed it on insurance. We'll get this taken care of. They never did. And they, so now anyways, we've got like almost $2,000 for this stupid possible rock.
Yeah.
That's on our credit report. And I'm like, I'm not paying it. We have a house. We both have a vehicle. We don't need good credit right now. Fuck that. I'm not paying that shit.
Yeah. But
I'm like, this is just a scam that they're doing. Because I'm like, how many old people are going to just go ahead and pay that and think that the insurance just didn't cover it or something like that, where it's the higher price instead of the negotiated? Because the other ER visits we had, it'll start out like $2,000 or $3,000 and it gets down to like $200 by the time our insurance negotiates everything. So I'm like, they're just literally doing this just to scam people out of money.
Yeah. So just for the hospital bills alone, she definitely should have sued. Like, yeah. But the internet said that everyone sucks. So, which I agree with. I think that the roommate sucks more and that she deserved what she got. It sucks that like, she was 20 and so like it has ruined her entire life, but also like pranks are mean. Like gotcha moments, mean.
Yeah,
I agree.
All right. Next up. Am I the asshole for pretending to get fired when customers get a temper with me?
Yeah. I
I don't think so.
And who got a temper?
So am I the asshole for pretending to get fired when customers have a temper with me? So if a customer starts like being mean to you and like saying that you're awful and you should be fired, are you the asshole for pretending to be fired over that incident?
No.
Nope. Not the asshole.
Wait, so say that one more time.
All right. So if you are a customer service person and I'm like screaming and yelling at you and like just saying that you're awful and you're horrible and you should be fired, and then you call over your manager, Lindsay, and she fake fires you, so I see you get fired over me being a bitch, are you the asshole because you're not actually fired? You're just making me think that you were fired.
I don't think they're an asshole. But at the same time, like you gotta face reality, and no matter, I feel like a big chunk of jobs, no matter what happens, there's always gonna be that one angry person, and that's not gonna change. So
he's too nice.
I actually I wouldn't fake fire my employees, but when I worked in the call center and was a manager, I would take the escalation and act like my agent was in big trouble for whatever upset
them. Stuff is so stupid. So here's the story. I'm a high schooler with a weekend job at a coffee shop. My coworkers who work weekends are James, the owner's son, who goes to my school. He's the shift manager, but it's not a formal thing and he's friendly. Danielle is a college student who sometimes works weekends. So sometimes customers come in and they're just angry about little things, like literally blow up about nothing. I don't know if they're in a bad mood already or looking for someone to take it out on or what, but it's a lot. How sad is it that a grown man has to take their anger out on a high school and college kid? So James and I were joking about having a little fun with them and hopefully getting them off our backs. So one day I was at work and some guy was having a temper tantrum about how we don't make the coffee hot enough, which I can't do anything about because it's given to him right out of the machine. So James comes in and says, "Sir, is there a problem here?" And the guy starts ranting at him too. He goes, "OP, this is unacceptable and you're fired." I started acting real sad, saying, "No, please don't fire me. My family needs the money. I need this job, please." And he played up being a hard ass, telling me to take off my apron and leave. The angry guy started backtracking, saying it isn't that big of a problem. You don't need to fire her over it. And James said, "No, we pride ourselves on having the best customer service." Of course, after all this drama, I still had a job. We were just acting. We've done it a couple times when a customer loses their temper at Danielle or I, and James will storm in and fire us. And almost every time the person will apologize and say they didn't mean it. It's kind of satisfying to make people realize their actions have consequences. I was telling my friends from school, and some thought that it was a mean prank to let someone think that they gotten someone who desperately needs money fired. Am I the asshole for the joke?
No.
Like, no.
No, it
I wouldn't
really,
say
I
that.
agree that it lets them realize the
Yeah.
consequences of their actions. Like, everybody has a shitty day, and that doesn't mean you should throw a huge fit and get someone in trouble.
No,
You know, if they haven't actually done anything wrong.
I agree.
Like, if they legitimately did something wrong, you know, and deserve it, it's one thing. But
when I worked for Toys R Us, we had this like promotion where if I didn't ask if you had a rewards card or needed batteries, you got a $5 gift card. And I was very good at asking for that. But you got written up if somebody said that you didn't ask. Like, not only did you give away a $5 gift card, but they literally wrote you up for it if you had it happen enough times, because they're like, you're giving away money. And it's like, so this one woman, she was on her phone the entire transaction. I asked her a bunch of times if she did it, and like I'm even pausing and waiting and stuff. And then after the transaction ends, I hand her a receipt. She hangs up her phone. She goes, "You didn't ask me if I had a rewards card. I want my $5 gift card." And I'm like, I absolutely did ask you multiple times. You were on your phone. Like, I can't do this. And she just kept screaming at me. And my manager came over, and my manager processed the gift card, handed to her. So I'm having like a full-blown panic attack. I'm 18 years old. I'm new at this job. And this woman is screaming at me, and I just had to give away a gift card. And I'm thinking, I'm going to get written up. I've never had a write-up. You know, I'm a good employee. All because this woman was on her phone, and the company believes her over me because that's what you're supposed to do, because the customer's always right. And like my manager literally had to like pull me aside and be like, "You're not in trouble. We're not writing you up. I just like, I wanted her gone. Like, I know that you ask everybody." But it was such a crazy thing that like I would have, you know, there was the possibility that if a different manager had been there, I would have gotten a write up even though I did the right thing. And I think that this person was absolutely right to pretend to be fired, because people do need to know their actions have consequences.
Yeah, no, I personally, so I feel like personally, like, you can't phase me. So like, I feel like if someone were to like, if I were to do a job and someone were to shout at me, I think I'll just sit there and just be like, you know, like,
They don't stop. Even when you just sit there, they don't stop. They just
I personally feel like I've heard most of it already. So like, there really isn't anything someone could say that would bother me. You know, so I'll just kind of just sit there, like, you know, thinking to myself, like, you're a grown ass adult trying to scam yourself a $5 gift card.
Right.
You know, like, imagine that, like I'm here doing my job, and you're angry about a $5 gift card. That's how I'd be thinking. I'd just be thinking to myself like that. And she'll be screaming and yelling. She'll be screaming and yelling, and I'll just be like, damn, she's got missing teeth as well. Fuck yeah. Just, you know, just like, that's what goes through my head. Well, go ahead, keep shouting.
But yeah, I love that this person got fake fired. I think that should happen more. I think that every company should have like a code where you can like call up your manager and be like, fake fire me because this woman is yelling at me because the coffee's not hot enough. Like,
yeah, it's ridiculous.
You can't fix that the coffee's not hot enough. Like, I didn't like put it in the fridge for you.
Yeah, it's stupid. People are ridiculous, but like I said,
especially because like coffee places, it's made on demand. Like, you make it
and you
when they order it
at a certain time. Like after that McDonald's.
This isn't hot enough for me to be able to sue you over.
Yeah, that's what it is. Like, I'm sorry, go put it in the microwave when you get to work. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Some people are honestly desperate for a quick discount. If it's not for stupid reasons like the McDonald's, you know, let me claim and get my millions from you. It's like, oh, it's too cold, or it's not it's not high enough. I want the money back. You know, like, you think you'll see that type of shit, like, whoa, like, you're really gonna fight an 18-year-old or a 16-year-old over $3, bro? Like,
that's why I want it. That's why I'm all for it. Like, stop yelling at teenagers.
Yeah, like,
literally just trying to work.
I recently did that. I was scared. Do you remember that at the pizza place? I became a Karen.
She called
me after. So bad too.
She called me after and told me the story. No, I can't see it. Yeah, the Karen moment.
Yeah, I was a Karen.
Did you go back in and apologize, or were you
No, I'm too embarrassed and ashamed.
never go there again?
I'm not. I told him I'd never go there again, and I was right about it, but not because of them, because I'm too ashamed about acted. I mean, I didn't go into the place and act bad. It was just outside, but I mean, I had a legitimate reason to be upset, but I overreacted.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it was such an overreaction that even corporate probably got a message from her.
Yeah. But that was before I even talked to the employee that I contacted corporate or gave them the bad survey that was on my receipt. And then I felt like shit for it.
I bet. The internet says not the asshole here. So
Yeah, I don't think so.
all right, here is the next one. Am I the asshole for telling my boyfriend that his masculinity was fragile after he refused to buy pads for me?
No.
Not the asshole.
I don't say that again.
Am I the asshole for telling my boyfriend that his masculinity was fragile after he refused to buy pads for me?
I don't get that. What does that mean?
So if we're dating and I asked you to buy pads and you're like, no, ew, that's gross. That would because you want to be seen as more manly. That's what that is.
That's so stupid.
Yeah.
That's so ridiculous. Like I've never had a problem. Like obviously I'm not married or have a relationship, but like sometimes like my mom, for example, is super duper busy, she can't go out. And if she asks me, I'm like, sure, like it's not a big deal.
Yeah, it's not a big deal at all.
It's not a big deal at all. Like if you feel if you kind of get how else to work it, like if you kind of get anxious when you do that type of stuff, like, there's an issue, bro.
Yeah,
that's what she's saying.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
His masculinity is fragile if he has a problem with that.
Yeah, I think so.
So I asked my boyfriend if he could buy pads for me from the drugstore because it was late. He immediately said no. I was shocked because I wasn't expecting that. I asked why, and he said he didn't want the cashier to see him buying pads. At this point, I started laughing because that was hilarious. He wasn't joking, though. He glared at me, and I told him that the cashier would obviously know that it wasn't for him. But the cashier wouldn't care what he's buying. He still refused. I said he could use the self-checkout if he was that insecure, but he said he didn't want anybody to see him with pads because they think he was a tranny. I told him he was childish and his masculinity was fragile because he couldn't buy pads for his own girlfriend. He got mad and went out. I had to bunch up toilet paper and wear dark clothes to go get pads for myself. My boyfriend has been ignoring me ever since. I've been thinking that maybe I pushed it too far. Am I the asshole?
No, not a chance.
No, for him to be worried that people would think that he's trans, like nobody gives a crap what you're buying.
No.
Like legit,
unless you're buying, you're like stocking up on all the condoms and things like that. You can plan a party.
Like just laughing at you, like, oh, look at this person who's obviously never had sex, thinks they're gonna need all these condoms.
Right.
Like, what's he worried about? Like the cashier's gonna pull out the microphone, like, hey, check this sucker
out. Like nobody gives a crap.
He's literally worried that like I'll be walking through the store and go, he's buying pads. He must be
transgender, or maybe he's in a relationship.
Like
or has a sister, or a mom, or a daughter, or a friend.
Goddamn boyfriend out.
Like
I said, like I think that's absolutely ridiculous. Like if I was in a scenario, my girl or wife said to me, "Hey, babe, can you please go and get me this?" I'm like, "Sure." And what else would you like? I'll go do the whole grocery shopping, and I'll, and shit. Like there really is no issue. But like I said, if that type of stuff phases you, like there's an issue, bro. Like
I could understand if the guy's like, but I don't even know what you need.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that. Like that would be different.
That would be different. But no, he was literally like, I don't want people to see me. It's like nobody looks at what you're buying in the grocery store.
So I'll be honest, the only one awkward thing is for me is when I'm like, normally my mom shows me the picture of which one she wants, right? So I know.
Yeah.
But like if I can't find the one and I don't mind asking what brand is this brand available? I don't mind. It's that thing where it has like the little drops on there. And I'm like, fuck, like I'm gonna look so stupid asking what drops because I don't know what the drops mean. I assume, obviously, you think the less drops are like less. Apparently, that's not the case. So I'm like asking this guy, like,
what is?
I'm looking. I don't know, like it's
my rule
like
of
that.
thumb is if
No.
you're ever not sure about like the size with pads, at least like tampons are a little bit different, but
Yeah.
like pads, just get the ones that hold the most.
Yeah.
Like, worst case scenario,
Yeah.
they don't need that size. Like,
But at
No, I
least
have a.
they're covered.
yeah, at least
They have it
Unfortunately,
covered though. So
unfortunately, no, I have a really bad habit when I go shopping for anything. If someone asks me for a certain thing, my aim is to go get that certain thing. Otherwise, I kind of feel very uncomfortable. It sounds really stupid.
yeah. Well, no, I
It's
get it with the
not pads.
substitution.
It's just in general. It's just in general. Like any item. Like if I'm supposed to get this type of item and I can't find it, I kind of begin to panic because I can't find it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But like I said, like the most awkward thing is for me is when I have to ask the question, like, you know, like, the drops, mate, can you please explain it to me? Because I have no idea. Like, is this the right one for this one? And I show a picture on my phone, like, this is the one she wants. I can't see that one. You know, that's like the most awkward thing for me. You know, apart from that, I don't mind. Like, I can carry the basket in my hand. It's no problem. Just that little thing when I kind of get awkward
Yeah.
asking. Well, I feel like that's normal. You know, they're like, you know.
I like the meme where it's somebody did a screenshot of their like message from their boyfriend. They're like, it's got, you know, the two boxes and one has like a yellow label and one has like a green, and he goes, do you want the lemon or the lime flavor? She's like, y'all, my boyfriend's something else. Yeah, like in this day and age of like body positivity, sex,
not a big deal.
period
not a big
positivity in general, like we
In
literally
general.
just did an episode where we talked about our periods for half of it. So like,
And there's one saying that I've always had this one saying, right? This really goes to anyone. Like it doesn't have to be in the relationship. It could just be to someone you love. If you don't do it, who's gonna do it? You know, like because
she
like
had a bunch toilet paper up there.
you know, that's what I
get
mean.
them
Like
herself.
if like I said, like as the man, right? And I like I said, I really have the, you know, I'm the man and I would like to do the things I need to do. Like I said, like if I don't do that thing, then who's gonna do it? You know, like what the hell? Like, you know, like
Yeah.
sometimes some things you just gotta go and do because you're the one that she relies on, you know?
Well,
So,
see, because you're a good guy.
yeah, I know.
But yeah, like he literally left, and then like she had to go and get her own.
Exactly.
pads,
That's even
and, like,
that. Yeah, like imagine she went out and it's nighttime as well. Like that's ridiculous, and she's uncomfortable. I don't think that's right. That guy is a douchebag.
yeah. Well, the internet says the same thing. That guy's the asshole. She is not the asshole,
Yeah.
which is fair. So
100%.
next up, am I the asshole for hiding my personal life at work?
Yeah. No. Not. Oh, I don't think so. I don't think so at all. Like me personally, like even when I joined the gaming group, I tried my best keeping my personal life out of it, just because, as bad as it sounds, I tend to keep my work friends, my gaming friends, and then my real life friends are my real life friends for a reason. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of, because I play with you for a certain amount of hours, or because I work with you for a certain amount of hours, that then means you can call me whenever you want. You can hang out with me whenever you want. We can do this and that. I don't believe in that. I personally feel like if someone random, like if a workmate were to call me after work hours, I'm not going to answer. I'll be like, sorry mate, like how did you even get my number? Probably block me. Yeah, like
Me and you are total opposites in that. Like, because people in the crew will call me and, you know, just to talk. And he's like, why are they calling you? I'm like, because I'm a nice person. And he's like, if they called me, I'd be so pissed. And I'm like,
You hear the
Yeah,
pop?
like,
but that's another one of those culture differences because, like, in the South, like, we're just more hospitable and
Well,
welcoming.
So for this one, am I the asshole for hiding my personal life at work? What do you think?
I say no, not at all. Like that,
I don't
everyone
think
has.
you're the asshole.
No, they
Yeah.
can't be an asshole. Like they really.
It's your
really
personal life. It's your choice
Yeah,
to
you
expose
really-
it or not.
Yeah, you really can't say yeah to that because, like I said, it's your personal life at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So, like, you could do whatever you want. Like, you never know. This guy could act like Batman and run around the streets of fucking, I don't know, Chicago.
Well, that's how
And
Bruce Wayne and Batman were able to be the same person because he kept his personal life.
That's what I'm,
Right.
that's what I'm trying to say. Like, you know, that's some point. Like if it's like so, some people really value their personal life. You know what I mean? Like, they really value it in the sense of privacy. You know, so if that's how it is, then there's no problem. I think there would be an asshole if someone were to come up to you and say, "Hey, what's your social media? I'm like, oh, fuck off, you prick. I think that's an ass. Don't get me wrong. Like that's rude. If you're
Well,
saying,
But I mean, you still could just be like, "Hey, I don't give my personal
yeah,
stuff
like
out,
that,
but
like that's fine. Like
I
I think
appreciate you
well,
yeah,
thinking of me."
yeah.
so here's the story for it then.
All right.
Because I'm in a little trouble at work because I've been hiding my personal life. I've worked in this office for about 9 years, working my way up the company. I'm a notoriously private person and I believe in separation of work and home life. With that, at work, I never talk about my home life. I'm not ashamed of my life. I just don't like to discuss it at work. My coworkers enjoy talking about their personal lives and often include me. If I'm asked any questions, I redirect or move on to somebody else. In this manner, none of my coworkers knew that I am married, have twin daughters, and have a very active personal life. We hired Melinda last year, and she took it upon herself to become the office snoop. She spent several weeks getting as close to everyone as possible. She did this to
Yeah.
seek out potentially useful information that she can hold over people's heads. Try as she did, I never gave her anything. My coworkers view me as sort of an enigma compartmentaliz I'm gonna get this.
Compartmentalize.
Compartmentalizing aside, I've made great friendships at work. There are more things to talk about than my husband and kids. They are a big part of my life, but I'm not going to martyr myself and say that they're the most important things. They're hugely important and they come before anything else. I'm not a sycophant, but I enjoy the 10 hours a day I'm at work when I get to be an adult and talk about things other than what JoJo Siwa and the newest Jen Dashian exploit. Last week, on a Friday, Melinda came into work looking like a cat that got the goldfish. At lunch, she announced to everyone that I'm married with two daughters, a dog, and a nice
Yes,
house. I play
that's fucked up.
softball, I kayak, and occasionally mountain climb, and that I'm on Facebook. She couldn't see my posts, but some of my photos are shared with others, so they weren't private. I used a shortened version of my name, Allie from Alexandra, and my married name on Facebook, so I'm not sure how she found me unless she used the white pages and put two and two together. I've already reported her to HR, but the problem is now that my coworkers are acting like this is a big deal. One of my friends said that she's hurt that I didn't trust any of them and hold them in such low regard. I tried to explain that it's nothing against them. I just like to keep my home life and work life separate. When I'm at home, it's my time with my kids, my husband, my friends, my dog, and my hobbies. I choose to
Yeah.
live an hour outside of the city in a small town so I can avoid work when I'm not there. I've apologized if any feelings were hurt, but my coworkers are now giving me the chill and not talking to me unless it's directly about work. I don't see the problem. I never lied or gave false info. I'm still the same person I was before they knew all of this stuff. Am I the asshole?
No,
No,
not at all.
I think
No,
everyone
that
else
other
is an
person's an
asshole.
asshole.
The whole group
Like,
is an asshole, in my opinion. Just because one thing I'll say, you like I said, like you're not a true friend if you give someone shit about their choice. Obviously,
yeah,
if this is a sensible choice. Like if it's a stupid choice, give them shit. You're allowed to do that. But this is a private, sensible choice. Like I'll explain to you one thing. Right, I have one friend. Right, I've been friends with him since high school. I say we've been friends now for probably 7, 8 years. Right, I am very antisocial. And when I say I'm antisocial, you could call me and I'll answer the phone 50% of the time, all right? You could text me and I'll try my best to reply. I won't give you a cold shoulder, but I won't go out of my way to come and see you, right? And he knows that about me. Yeah, he knows that I'm his best friend and he's my best friend, right? And if he needed something, he's able to come to my house and come say, Yasin, I need to speak to you about something. Or he knows he can call me and say, look, this is an emergency, I need to talk to you. That's a friend in my opinion because he respects that I am a certain way. He doesn't come and call me and say, you never come out with me, you're not a good friend, you suck.
yeah.
That's a bad friend. If a
Yeah.
friend makes you uncomfortable for your position, that's a sensible one, then they're not a friend at all. That's just my opinion. That to me is them being an asshole because it's not fair that you keep something private and then they're kind of forcing you to bring it out. Like I said, you come to work. Like she said, she's coming to work. She rather talk about 100 other things than, oh yeah, my neighbor did the barbecue and then this and that. Like she doesn't want to talk about that type of stuff. So everyone around
I
her,
totally get her wanting to separate it. I mean, because
yeah,
being a wife and mother and all that, like, it's exhausting. Like, I can
exactly,
totally get wanting to distance yourself from that when you're at work.
yeah,
But now, the Snoop person is totally an asshole.
I'm glad that she
100%,
Now,
shared that.
like,
I'm glad
I'm
that
a
she said
100%.
that.
Snoopy person. I'm
Fuck
going to
that
find
bitch.
Why
out.
don't you announce it to
But I
everybody?
don't tell other people. I'm just nosy. Like,
No,
it's
yeah,
just
I
for
just
my
like
own
to have
personal
the
amusement.
information.
That's
Yeah,
very
just
low.
give it to me. I feel like she's definitely in the right. Like the woman, like she wants to keep her personal life and her home life separate. I also do feel for her coworkers though. I feel like they will eventually get over it. And if they don't, then her coworkers are assholes as well as that woman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fuck
But
them.
I can see that there's going to be an adjustment period because like she said, she's worked there for 9 years.
Yeah,
And like
that
she has
sucks.
she's a husband and kids and like all this stuff. And like it sounds like she has a very rich social life. Like she's doing tons of activities that would be super cool to talk about. And so I could see where the coworkers would have been like, oh, are we not real friends? Like you didn't think this, but I think that the coworkers could get over it.
I feel like I definitely feel like that. And another thing is, you never know. Maybe that person is super rich or whatever, and she doesn't want to talk about that type of stuff because you
Oh, I
never
meant
know.
like rich,
No,
like fulfilling, not
yeah, but
like
like
money.
even in that sense, right? Like you could like there you gotta like I personally feel like there are a lot of jealous people out
I
there,
would absolutely
right?
be writing that person up for that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, she
like
went to
that
HR, so
like
I
there
hope
are a
that
lot
person got fired.
like
Yeah,
I feel like there are a lot of jealous people out there, and sometimes when you tell them how you're having a good time, in my cause
they're gonna try to destroy it.
we have something called evil eye, if you've ever heard of that term,
Mhm.
evil eye, and like that's the thing, like you could tell, like I said, I in my life, like thankfully I'm I have what I have in my life. You don't see me flaunt it and showing it off to everyone. Just to that reason, like again as a Lindsay, like I keep my private life very private for a reason, right? Because I don't want someone to end up saying, yeah, Kingy is this and that. Kingy could be snobby, or Kingy's really poor, or Kingy, I don't know, whatever it is. Because people suck, right?
I
They're,
am.
they're opinionated, they're going to give you a hard time. So, like, I bet even if you did tell them about your personal life, someone's not going to like it. It's a headache. Oh, bringing your personal life into stuff 100% brings drama. There is no way it doesn't, unfortunately. That's how I feel.
There was a fun moment, actually, weirdly enough, last night. I went out with one of my girlfriends to see a new band that I normally go to a lot of 80s shows. And I went to see something that was more like current party, rock and roll, stuff like that. So I went to that and I, messaged one of my girlfriends to tell her because they were playing a song that we both love.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, good for you. I'm so glad that you're getting out. And I was like, I go out all the time without you, right? Like she's
Yeah.
my normal show go-to person. And I was like, no, I do go to other like shows and events, but it's
Yeah.
just so funny to think. I'm like, oh, that's so sweet that like she totally thought that like I only go to the shows that like she invites me to. So it was like a funny moment where I was like, oh, it's because
Yeah.
I don't tell her. And it was the same thing with the girl that I was out with. The girl that I was out with, I don't message her and go, hey, I'm going to see this 80s band tonight because that girl doesn't like 80s music. So it's like, it's
Yeah.
not relevant
No
for her to
point. Yeah.
know. So it was just one of those things where I was like, yeah, it's like, it wasn't relevant for you to know. So I didn't tell you. And so it was just kind of a funny moment that kind of went
And I think it's
your world.
funny the way people just make assumptions about things. And like people assume that I'm extremely open, because I do post a lot. And, like if my kid gets hurt, I'll post that. My friends will know that, things like that. But last year, whenever me and my husband separated, I didn't even live at home for like 6 months, and some of my really close friends didn't even know about it until I had moved back home. And then they're like, "How did I know this, Lindsay?" And I'm like, "It was none of your business." I mean, I'm not trying to be mean. It was just that was between us. It was,
Yeah, you're like, I had a person that I was
nobody's business. Like I'm very much like my private relationships. I absolutely keep private. Like you're not gonna know. Like I could.
It's not healthy in my opinion. It's not healthy. Like I said, there's a certain amount of personal life you should bring into everything.
Yeah.
Because trust me, the moment, like I said, you can't trust everyone. I'm gonna say this.
Well, and I know that if people knew, that we were having issues and I was living separately, there's going to be the people saying, "I can't believe you'd leave your kids," and it's like, no, my kids, I still see my kids every day, or they come stay with me. I mean, I'm literally 5 minutes down the road, if that. Yeah. Like I wasn't even that far, but it was like it's just nobody's business, and I don't want anyone else, making things worse or causing more drama, or it was a private, thing, and there's no reason for anyone to know.
people are dodgy in my opinion. And I'm a very firm believer. Like I said, Lindsay's a witness to this. My friendship circle is very small. I don't trust people. I struggle to do it. Like I said, because like I said, people, as much as you will have good faith in them, they can be malicious with information you give them. You might think they're very nice to you at work. You tell them one thing, it could be like, I don't know, it could be like, oh, you're allergic to mustard, for example, and then all of a sudden the office knows about it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's that
I
can be very
assume
private.
so like I can't even explain this and I don't even know what I believe in as far as this stuff goes, but I don't even have to physically meet someone and I'll get vibes off people and I kind of so I don't trust anyone. Like there are very few people that I trust. I trust both of you, but I mean as a whole, I don't trust very many people and they don't get to
No.
know much about my private life. Um, because I assume everyone has bad intentions when they're
You
asking
should.
me about my private life. I'm
Well,
like, why do you want to know this?
well, here's the thing
Yeah,
about that too, is once somebody has that information,
they're not
it's
gonna forget.
theirs. They can do whatever
Yeah.
they want with it. So like
Yeah,
that's why I have something very personal that like I just told somebody and I was kind of like waiting on their still waiting on their response. Um, but it was one of those things where I'm like, it's not something that I'm, you know, it's not a secret, but it's not something that I want like a bunch of people to know or like to come out randomly
Right.
when we're
yeah,
drunk. So it's like one of those things where I'm just like in limbo of like, okay, so I told you this like deeply personal thing, and like I'm waiting for you to tell me if it's fine or not, and you're just sitting with it, and now I'm sitting here like, great, this person just has this information now, and it's just like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's the kind of fear I have. That's why I don't like to get personal and social with people. Like I said, I don't know. I don't like I said. I haven't know. Like I don't know you. It's like being working with you isn't enough for you to prove that I should open up to you. You can be very nice. Don't get me wrong. There's loads of nice people I met at work, for example. Like I said, like I've met a lot of nice people, but that doesn't mean I want to sit there and give you a TED talk about my life.
Right.
yeah,
It's just
Yeah.
not gonna happen. Like the most information you can know is probably my nationality, and even that, I don't. Sometimes I just bullshit. Like I'm South African, I'm fucking Mexican. I make bullshit up sometimes just for the fun of
I
it.
do too. Fake
Yeah.
names,
But
fake
yeah,
everything.
yeah. It's just like I said. Sometimes I do that, but in general, I'll happily sit and talk to you. I'll happily and discussion with you. But I'm not gonna sit there and talk to you about my personal life. Apart from that, everything else, I'll happily talk to you. I'm very nice and friendly. If you're friendly back, if you're rude and disrespectful, trust me, you're gonna face that as well. Because I can do both. But like I said, I like to keep everything respectful, friendly, and that's all it is for me. Like that's how it is. When you cross the line, motherfucker, you're gonna face the wrath.
So the internet determined in this, she's not the asshole for keeping her personal and
No.
holiday separate,
You can't.
which
Like I feel
agree.
like
Like
yeah,
it's your life. Do
you could
whatever.
do whatever you want. Yeah.
I'm looking through these, you guys, and there's a lot of things that are just not the asshole, but they're all funny prompts. Like I'm just looking through them and I'm just like, wow, nobody's the asshole today. But like I just like typed them up. Like I didn't, yeah. So I'm gonna kind of skip around here and get some that like are more interesting. So this one, am I the asshole for asking my fiance to pay a bride price?
What does that mean?
A bride price is like a price to make, like a dowry.
Oh yeah, I don't know about
I would say I'm pretty sure you
that.
should
Yeah.
know what
We
that
have
is.
a different price. We have a different name. That's why I didn't
Yeah.
know. That's called bride price. That shit's bullshit. I don't believe in it. I think it's ridiculous. I'm sorry to say, but like, see, there's a certain amount of money I'm okay to give. But in my culture, we're talking about like 50, 60 grand that go to the wife's family, not even the wife, just so you know. Like, that's
All
the type
right.
of shit that
Well,
goes on.
do
Fuck that
you
shit.
think that this person is the asshole for asking their fiance to pay the bride price?
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
yeah.
I think so too. I think asshole for like you can't like ask somebody to pay it. So, anyways, here's the story. My fiance is a 32-year-old male, and let's start totally over. My fiance is a white European 32-year-old male. I am a Black African 31-year-old female. We've been dating for 7 years. I came to this country to study and have lived and worked here ever since. Ever since we started dating, he took an interest in my culture, asked me to teach him the language, culture. We've been to my home to visit a few times. He asked me to marry him last year, and I accepted. We were planning the wedding, and I mentioned that we need to account for my family back home, saying that we could have the traditional wedding in my home country and the white wedding in his, since I don't want to ask everyone to fly and get visas.
White
The issue-
wedding. Sorry.
The
that's not-
issue came when I mentioned the bride price needing to be paid, something that he scoffed at. Calling it a bride price is misleading because there is so much more to it than just the money that changes hands. It's our time honored tradition that blends two families into one and is something I've always wanted to do when I got married. I mentioned that he knew about the marriage customs of my culture and that they included a bride price. We both work in law/human rights type fields, so he assumed that I would be against the bride price. I told him I'm against it being forced and money being a driving factor, but I'm asking that he does it because I choose it and I want to honor my parents and our culture. He refused, saying that it was backwards and extortionate and would be like him buying me. I said that wasn't the case and that my parents would charge a tokenistic / symbolic amount. I said if my parents were to sell me, that he couldn't afford it. This set him into a rage because I somehow, this is the best part. This set him into a rage because I somehow insulted him by saying that, when all I meant was that my parents aren't looking to make a lot of money off me. This is something that my people have done for millennia, and I don't want to break from tradition. I told him I'm not sure if I'm willing to go ahead with marrying him if he isn't willing to make the trip to my country and talk to my parents about the, I might butcher this word, but it looks like Labola process. He says I'm forcing / manipulating him. He knew from day one who I was and where I came from. This is what my people do, and I feel like for him to label it backwards is Eurocentric because he's viewing it from his lens, despite me explaining the cultural significance. And here are her edits. It says, we did not discuss the bride price in relation to us previously as a couple, but he was aware from real life and fictional context the marriage customs of my people. I thought he knew that was a necessary step to marrying me. Maybe I was wrong to assume that. My parents are wealthy. They don't need or plan to get rich off my marriage. The money part of this tradition is only about 5% of it. The other 95% is not monetary and is a beautiful ceremony which blends two families together. My concern is he's willing to shun the 95% for the sake of the 5%. And if he does that, what will our future look like? Culturally, if we do not go through these customs, then I am not married and my marriage won't be recognized. The ceremony is a cultural must-have. My family means a lot to me, and my parents have done a lot for me. This is something that I'm not willing to compromise on. I will talk to him, and if he's unwilling to go through with it, then we'll have the answer on what our future looks like. Am I the asshole?
Yes,
I no longer think she's the asshole.
I do. I do. And I'm going to say this because this is a very big thing in my culture as well.
Yeah, I
This
mean,
is
I respect
very-
you because you
I was gonna say, that's
actually
ironic
have
for
that as
me.
part of your culture,
Also,
not mine.
I'm going to say like this is like a must in our culture. Like this is something that you have. Like if you Islamically or in the Arab tradition really want to get married to someone, you have to pay money. And I'm telling you, like there's sometimes these are like I'm honest. So there's a certain amount of money I'm more than happy to pay. I'm talking about like the 10K range, 15K range. I could happily pay that if I had a good job. Some families ask for 50, $60,000 pound. Imagine that. And it doesn't go to you. It doesn't go to you. It goes to the mom and dad.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Because at the end of the day, I'm a newlywed, right? I might not even have money set aside for a deposit for a house, or I might have a house and I'm now paying a mortgage, but you're taking 50, £60,000 from me, right, to marry your daughter, and then you on top of that expect me then to have 50, £60,000 spare to then go and live my life. That doesn't work that way. There is, unless you're a multi-millionaire, that doesn't work. And I'm very against this. Like I'm very against this kind of customs. Like I said, there's a certain amount of money I'm fine to pay. Like I said, 15K downwards, if I can afford it, I will happily pay it. And I'm talking about not just cash. I could give gold. I could give whatever you want. That's how I'm more than happy to do, right? But then I feel like it's very selfish if the woman I want to marry fights me and says, you don't want to pay 50, £60,000? Like, yeah, I don't want to pay £56,000. If you really love me, you're gonna say to them, look, like, I want this money to go towards my house. I want this money to go to my honeymoon. I'll even be happy if I gave them that much money and they were to buy an apartment and put it into my wife's name. I'll be happy to do that, right?
Yeah.
Because if anything were to happen, she has her own place, I have my place, end of story, right? And on top of that, you guys want to know something else? Normally, they'll ask you for that much money, and then you'll have to go pay for a wedding. Guess how much
Yeah.
a wedding is in my culture?
I've
Yes.
seen those weddings.
They're so extravagant.
Yeah.
They normally last like days. They're not even just
they're,
like a few hours.
they usually go about 2 days. Guess how much like a minimum wedding would cost?
I would guess no less than $100,000.
Like that's way too much. Like that's like super.
Not for
That's
my
like
not for my wedding.
like let's I would say like if you want a minimum wedding that's still super kind of expensive, you're looking at paying around £20,000. You know, like I said, and it's like I don't mind doing that type of stuff, right? I want to do it because free willingly, and I don't feel like it's a forced thing.
Yeah.
It's not right. Like it really isn't right. Like you said, and that's one thing I've always. That's why personally, like I've always been put off on the idea of marrying my own culture because I don't feel it's right that I have to show off my wealth and show off this and that. Like even if I could afford it, it's not right. You know what I mean? Like I'm sorry, but I want to put 50, 60,000 in my house where my kids are gonna grow up, where my wife has a place to be and save. What do two bunch of 60-year-olds want to do with that much money? Like what the hell? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. And
just
as a parent, like if Lillian was going to be getting married and someone's like, hey, I want to marry her, I would never ask them to pay me for that. Like I would be like, no, spend that money on y'all having a good home or y'all getting the things that you need. Like, no, you're not giving me money to marry my kid.
So
yeah.
So on this, like I saw two parts of this. The one part is the money part. And I feel like if she came at this differently and said like the bride price is very important that we do, but let's split it. Like it kind of seems like she's coming at him and she's going, you need to pay this. It's like we are starting to work together.
It
like
doesn't work.
it doesn't help me. Like let's split the difference. Like it is something that's culturally important.
I respect her wanting to follow her family's traditions and respect her parents, and that's why I don't think she's being an asshole and asking for that and demanding it. Because I look at it like if I'm going to join a relationship with someone of another culture and I know what those cultures are, I'm not going to be pissed or mad whenever they ask me to uphold that culture, doing that. Like I would be like, okay, I respect that, I'll do that.
Yeah, so I think that she definitely should have come at it differently, especially because she's saying he's focusing on the money aspect and not the beautiful ceremony aspect, where it's like, well, you need to explain it better then. Like, honestly, if somebody came to me and said like, you need to pay this, $20,000 or we can't get married and you need to pay it to my parents, I'd be like, no, like that's crazy. Like who has just that money, especially because he is from a different culture. I mean, somebody that's in that culture, they know it. They've been planning for it. They are expecting to get that. He had no idea. Now he's just expected to pay whatever. And even if it is a small sum, it's still something that's being paid to somebody else. And I really think, and I feel the same about engagement rings. People, the man is supposed to buy the engagement ring. It's supposed to be 3 months salary, but you know what? That affects us both.
Yeah.
Like
I'd rather you buy me a really cool vacation than an expensive diamond. That's not going to improve my life or give me great memories. A vacation would. If I get to go skydiving and no.
It's so crazy too, because like I don't like wearing rings. And so if I had one, and I was briefly engaged, I hit my hands all the time and I was always so paranoid about losing it. So even if I did get engaged, I'd be like, listen, I like synthetic diamonds. I like synthetic gemstones. I do not want, and the diamond industry is disgusting in general. Like it's overpriced for the sake of being overpriced, but the synthetic is just as good. Like, and nobody cares if you go up and you're like, this is 3 carats. Are you jealous? Like, no, you just look douchey. Like me and my husband.
I have this one
that
I wear all the time, but it's just a ring I bought myself and I thought was pretty and it's fake. It's not.
Yeah, so like it's one of those things. I wish that she had like gone at it differently, and I hate the fact that like she literally saying that she's like, if he won't pay the bride price, we're not getting married now. And I think that's super shitty of her, and I think she's the asshole for saying that instead of being like, we've been together 7 years. I want to work through this and find a solution instead of just
Yeah.
like, if he says no, we're over. Like, why would you?
I really
feel
don't
like,
think either of them the asshole.
No,
I mean,
no.
like
yeah,
I see
it's a
both.
hard
I
situation.
can understand
not.
both of their viewpoints.
Yeah.
So
It's unfair in my. I'm gonna say this honest opinion, right? It's very unfair that, like I said, if you get into a relationship with someone who is of another culture, you have to understand that's 50-50, right?
right,
I'm expecting, that's the word, I'm expecting you to respect my culture. And guess what? I'm expecting, you're expecting me to respect your culture, right? That's
right,
how it's supposed to be. That's there. You have to accept that. If you don't like it, don't go out of your way to marry
right. Yeah, I
someone
agree.
out of culture. Like I said, like I have loads of customs and loads of traditions that I like to keep. Right? Those are part of me. You know what I mean? Like I said, that comes with me. You know, like if you want to date me, you're gonna have to respect that, whether you like it or not. Right? You may not agree with it, but you have to respect it.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the same way with you. If you have a custom or traditions, I have to respect it. I might not like it, right? But I have to respect it. And what I feel like this is it's forced because, like I said, like she's saying to him, like if you're not doing this, we're not getting married,
Yeah.
right? Who knows? Maybe he can't afford that amount of money that she's saying. And on top of that, like I said, he's gonna have to travel to a foreign country. Like I'm gonna be super honest, right? Like if I were to get married out of my own race, I'm not gonna take them to Iraq. Fuck that shithole, right? Even I don't want to go to that. Even I don't want to go to that place, right? And it sounds rude or whatnot, but because I know what it's like, right? I know what happens when a foreigner comes to my country. They're not. It's very likely they might not feel comfortable. They're gonna sit there. I'm gonna be super honest. If either of you were to get married to me, like you're gonna rock up to one of you. Like I said, you
I'm
would come.
still single, so
Listen.
focus here.
Like I said, and I was like one of those guys, like I'm a real Arab, and you have to come home with me, and you go to Iraq. Like I'm telling you, you're gonna sit in a room in 100-degree weather, right? And there's gonna be like 70 headscarfed ladies in a hall speaking Arabic, and you're just gonna be there, like, okay, that's not fair.
And I've
It
seen
really is not fair. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in the
That's
same
why.
aspect, like
That's
if I was to marry you, like I would respect your culture whenever we were around your
Yeah.
yeah.
anything.
That's
Like
you
I would be
have
like,
to
what
do
do I
that.
need to wear? What do I need to cover?
So it seems
Yeah.
like
Respect it.
he does. Like from this, it like they have gone to her home country and stuff now. It seems like the issue is really just like the actual money aspect, and he's focused on like the money instead of the traditional
Yeah,
ceremony.
like I said, like that itself is enough. Like I said, that itself that he's traveled to another country where they are speaking a different foreign language, and she's black and
Mhm.
he's white, and like I said, like me saying that sounds kind of messed up, but I'm gonna tell you right now because, like I said, back home in Iraq, a super white lady or a super white man, they're gonna look and they're gonna think two things: red passport, Westerner, straight off the bat, right? That's what they're gonna do, and you'll feel welcomed, right? But you won't feel comfortable because, like I said, like when you're sitting around people who don't speak English, who speak a different language, they're gonna look at you and point at you and laugh and talk, and you're gonna be like, "What the hell's going on?" You know what I mean? It's very uncomforting. Like I said, like when I went to my cousin's engagement party, right? Like it was me and my uncle, and my side of the family. We're just a small side, right? And my cousin's wife, she brought her uncles. I'm telling you, like there was like fucking 7 generations there. Like there was so many people. But guess what? They all spoke Persian. We don't speak Persian. I speak a little bit, right? I only know a little bit. Like I know, hey, how are you? That's all I know. So I'm like going to each one of them, like, hey, how are you? Hey, how are you? Hey. That's all I know how to say, right? And it's uncomforting. It really is uncomforting when you're surrounded by people that are looking at you and pointing at you and laughing in your direction, speaking a different language, and they're like, uh, this is the best thing you could do because you don't know. and I feel like she needs to respect that, honestly, because he's done a lot to go out of his way. He's proven that he loves her. Like I said, like I'm sorry, but I'm not. If I love you, right, and I'm gonna travel across the country to another country to be with you, I'll happily do that, right?
He's
But
literally gonna have 2 weddings
yeah,
just
you
for
know what I'm saying?
her.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? On top of that, like, and she's just bullying him. That's why I feel like it is like, oh, if you're not gonna do this, we can't be together or whatnot. It's bullying. It's unfair, and it's forcing things that he doesn't need to agree with. Like you said, like if what happens if he said like I don't know a European ceremony. I don't know. Say he bought something out of the bag and said the woman has to do this in my culture. You know, then if she get what happens if she says no? Is it right for him
Yeah.
to say no? I don't want to be married with you. No, it's wrong.
Well, I feel that I don't feel like either one of them's being an asshole, but I feel like they both could compromise a little
Yeah.
bit more. And if they
Yeah.
can't compromise, it's not going to work anyways.
Yeah.
Because that's like a huge thing in relationships. You've got to be able to compromise. You're going to have
Especially
to
two separate
give and
cultures.
not have it your way many times. So
It's not fair, honestly. Like you guys say, it's not. They're both not being assholes. I think she's being an asshole. Like I
Well,
said,
I
it's
agree with you. I think that she's
um,
being an asshole purely because I
it's
think
bullying.
that if it really is a 5 versus 95%, and he's saying no to the bride price and she thinks he's going to say no to the entire thing, I think she's not explaining it properly. I don't think that
yeah,
she's explaining how important it is. And I don't think that she's compromising. And I think that it sounds like they both have, decent jobs. Um,
I
here's where
absolutely
the
think
compromise.
that if they both agree that they don't think that it's right that you
Yeah.
essentially
Yeah.
buy the female,
There's a
then I
difference
definitely think
between,
she should be like, hey, this is something my family really expects. It's part of our tradition. So we need to, I would like it if we came up with this money, and respected that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
like that's where it is.
We,
Like
yeah,
it's that whole like it's us. Like I can
yeah.
see where like yes, you obviously nobody wants to like pay for their significant other in that situation, but like it's culturally significant, and she said it's culturally significant.
Yeah.
So it's like
you,
we
I'll be
need to figure it out because culturally it needs to be done.
if I'll be super honest. Like if the woman that I were to marry said that to me, it's like I want to help you pay this. I'm gonna fall in more. I'm gonna like love her more. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
Yeah.
there's like I'm gonna be super honest. But the thing that sucks in these type of scenarios, if the parents are very like traditional and cultural, and he doesn't agree to pay, they could just be like, "Sorry, we're gonna disown you if you're not gonna accept
Yeah.
this,"
That's what
well,
I'm
and that
like.
it doesn't seem
sucks.
like it's like that in this scenario,
It might not.
especially
It might
because they
not
said
be.
like but I can see absolutely in like other scenarios where the parents
See,
are like, well, great, then you're
you
out.
you say that, right? But if that was the case, then she wouldn't force him so much into it, right? I'll be
Yeah.
honest. Like I said, in my culture, like I said, I don't really know how you guys are with this type of stuff. But another thing we have is communities, right? And the community here is like if you do something and your name gets tarnished, you're gonna be looked down upon in the community. And here, people have hold their names in a very high regard. So if the parents are okay with it, then she wouldn't be forcing him in the way she is. Like I said, I
Well,
feel
and it
like
could
it's
be a thing where it's going to tarnish the reputation of her entire
Well,
family if
that's
they don't
she
yeah,
she
do
said
that.
specifically that like the reason that it's so important to do the entire thing, including the bride price, is that if they do not do it in her culture, they're not legally married, and it is
that's
very
what I'm
important
saying.
for her to be
Yeah.
That's
legally married in the culture. So it's
see that
like,
Yeah, see that part where it says culturally not married?
yeah,
That is what I'm talking about.
yeah,
See, like that's where the problem's gonna lay because there's gonna be an auntie somewhere who's gonna be like, you know what, I had this chick, she's married to a white guy, and they're not married. That's what's gonna happen. The
Yeah.
word goes around, and then what
So she's
happens?
basically just a.
yeah.
She's basically not
Well,
married, and she's in a
we,
relationship, and that's what happens, and that's the
She's a
issue.
she's a loose, easy woman.
yeah,
Culture,
What I
like
was
I'll
gonna
be
say,
honest.
and then decided not to use the
I
term I was gonna
I
use.
I absolutely hate when they put culture and religion and they go with it because they're two different things, right? And
Yeah.
like I said, culture is sucks. Culture is what makes things so fucking stupid. It's very unfortunate, right? Like I said, it brings headaches. culture brings headaches. Culture is beautiful and has so many nice things to it, but there's gonna be people who hold culture to such a high regard, where like I said, me saying if I did certain things right, or if I were to walk with a white woman out and about in the streets and I got seen, for example, don't get like my name would be everywhere. Like my dad is a pretty well-known figure in the community, right? They're gonna be like, this guy's son. Guess what we saw him do? We saw him with a lady. They're holding hands. You know what I mean? And then
So
what happens?
improper.
I know. I'm serious. Like that's
No, I
literally
know
what's gonna
it.
happen. You know what I mean? And then all of a
Yeah.
sudden, they all look down on you. Like this guy, mom and dad, they don't raise him properly. Mom and dad don't care about the child. Mom and dad raised a bastard. That's what's gonna happen. And then over what? It's like it's
Yeah,
stupid.
it's tough. Yeah, it's
So
absolutely tough.
dumb.
The internet determined that she's the asshole, which
Yeah.
I agree with. I think that
Thank
she
you,
could have been
internet.
doing it better.
Thank you, internet.
Am I the asshole for not wanting my kitchen used to cook for the homeless?
Yeah, you're right. It's your right. I'm sorry.
No.
Yeah.
You're not an asshole for that. There's no way.
Yeah,
No.
I don't think not the I think not the asshole for this too. But the
Just by the headline, I think no.
the story is funny though. It starts off, let's be clear, I don't care about the homeless, and I know that makes me the asshole. Somewhere.
Yeah, it does.
That line is why this one's funny. Because he admits I don't care about the homeless. Okay. I literally don't care about that. And honestly, I think that I'm just more honest than most people about it. I want social programs for them, but I don't want to do any of the work myself. Fair. So now that my pre-established assholery is out of the way, let's get to the meat. My roommate has gotten involved in many mutual aid projects around the city. It's her life, and I respect that decision. However, it's starting to affect my home life. We live in a small 2-bedroom apartment with a small kitchen. I have celiac disease and basically have to cook for myself because eating out is expensive and results in diarrhea 6 out of 10 times. My roommate has taken to storing a bunch of food she plans on cooking for the homeless in our already overstuffed cabinet space. This kitchen is barely designed to keep up with the nutritional needs of 2 people, let alone a crowd. That's problem number 1. Problem 2 is that she uses every pot and pan in the house to cook this food and then leaves them in the sink while she goes to serve the food. So in order for me to cook, I have to scrub a bunch of her dishes. She keeps trying to bring my cookware with her to these events, which I put a stop to after she left everything in her car for a week before she went on vacation
Hey,
and
that's
then put
gross.
it in the sink where it stayed until she got back. She thinks I'm the asshole for not supporting her humanitarian efforts, but frankly, I never wanted to get involved, and I feel like this is one giant guilt trip. I think she's the asshole for leaving her dishes in the sink after using the kitchen for multiple hours at a time for days on end with the expectation that I will help out. Not an assumption she verbally gets and not an assumption. She verbally gets cross when she comes home and the dishes are still there. I don't want and never agreed to this. And frankly, there are so many places around the city that already do this work. Instead of volunteering with them, she's using my resources and making it harder for me in my daily routine. Am I the asshole?
No.
No.
Still
No,
not the
no.
asshole. So,
Sorry, no.
not
I
even
can
a
see him
question.
being like, look, the issue isn't so much that you're wanting to help the homeless, it's that you're leaving a trail of destruction behind you when you do it. So instead of cooking, how about you make them sandwiches? You can
Yeah.
make them tons of sandwiches.
Like,
But
and
you don't have to
honestly,
cook anything and go take it to them.
unfortunately too, they like homeless people need food that's on the go. Like they don't have silverware, they don't have
Yeah.
resources to do this. And like,
Yeah.
what are they supposed to do with all
If
the
you want to
dishes?
make them a home cooked meal, you go volunteer at a soup kitchen.
Exactly.
You can actually cook for them. If you're going to do it like this and just want to go randomly help them, then you need to be making them sandwiches.
Yeah.
So one thing I'm trying to understand, right? And it seems like it's the case with this type of stuff all the time. So like, where did these people find these type of roommates? Like, I don't want to like I said, these people sound so selfish. Like you've decided to share a flat 50-50 with someone, right? And then you take over the fucking washing machine, or you take over the fucking sink, or you use all the food, or you cook something that was to kill one of the roommates. Like, what
Here's the thing. Here's the thing about roommates. You don't know until you live with somebody. Like
Yeah.
nobody is upfront about this stuff. And there's tons of things that you don't know until you live with somebody like about yourself. Like I know I can't share a kitchen. The people that are like, I want to cook together. No.
Yeah.
I want my pots where I want the pots. I want these to be here. I don't mind cooking all of the meals, but like I need it set up how I want. And the same thing with like my personal space. Like I need
Chills.
specific things. I need specific things that I didn't know until I lived with another person. And now it's like every time I think about living with somebody else, I get like a mild panic attack because I imagine coming home from work after my like super long day with my like long commute, walking in the door, and then somebody wants to talk to me. And I literally feel homicidal because I can't do it. And like, I just want to walk in, I want to drop my bags at the door, I want to go lay on the couch and I want to watch what I want to watch. And I don't want to walk in and be like, oh, you're already watching something on the TV. My options are to go to my room or watch what you're watching. So
Yeah,
it's
I'm
like,
not
that
picky.
sucks.
I would be very easy to live with, other than I don't want the place super trashy. Like, don't make me have to pick up after you if you're an adult. I don't like doing that. And I want the towels folded the right way. As far as the kitchen goes, like, I do like to cook, but I don't really give a shit where everything goes. If you want to put it up where it's supposed to go and that be the place, I didn't have to organize it. It saved me the trouble of having to do that. I don't care where it goes. I'll put it wherever you want me to put it. Like, I'm not picky about those things. Just the way the towels are folded, I want them folded my way. I want the toilet paper. If you have a roller, it's got to be over the top, not under. That's about it. Everything else, I don't really care. As long as there isn't nasty shit everywhere, like, I'm not too worried about it.
yeah. But you have
Yeah,
people too that like
I'm
they
not
just
gonna.
genuinely don't care and they like
If
don't
you're
even
picky about things and you want to handle that, then go ahead. As long as you're not forcing me to like if you're like, I only like the color blue in decor, I'm like, okay, then you buy the decor. I don't really give a shit. If I'm not having to buy it, I don't really care. Like, whatever.
yeah, the people that like you find where like they do have that thing where it's like they use all of your kitchen and they you know use the washer all the time. Those are the people that have never lived with another person before.
Right.
Because
I'm gonna
they're
be.
just so self-centered and self-absorbed that they don't even think about the fact that like maybe you need to use those things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
no,
living by
I'm not.
myself or, with my family, like I'm bad about leaving the laundry in the laundry room and not putting it up until, well, not putting it up, just waiting
Yeah.
until I need it to go get it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm bad about that. But when I've had roommates in the past, I'm not going to leave my stuff in their way. Like, I'm not going to do that. Like,
Yeah, it's just that like
I'm not going to leave the dryer full of my laundry or the washer if I know that I have roommates that are going to need to use those things. I'm just not, I'm going to be respectful to others. So,
I'm never gonna have a roommate. Like significant. I'm
you
sorry.
can't.
The, the only person I will happily share my house with is the person I decided to spend all my life with is the only person I share my house with. And I'm gonna tell you why. It's because I don't like people in general, and I can be very very picky about how my house is supposed to be. Don't get me wrong. I won't force you to do anything, right? But I will hate you forever if I came to my house and my house stank of shit, for example. I'm sorry, but as a roommate, I
I
will
would love
hate
to
you.
live with you then. I'd be like, he's picky. He likes how he has it done. I don't even have to think about how it's supposed to be done because
Yeah.
he's already got it decided.
Like I said, there's some things, right, when I keep them in a certain way and I don't find them, I panic, right? And like I can't do, like I said, because when you live with someone, like I said, if I moved in with my girlfriend or my wife, if she moved something, I don't mind that she moved it, because I'm so love struck, I wouldn't get annoyed by it, right? But if it's a random
I
person,
would be
and
mad.
It's a random roommate. You'd be like,
no,
why the fuck are you touching my shit?
like I said,
Yeah.
like I will hate you for eternity. Like I will never,
Well, and
like that's
that's the
it.
problem. You can't live with friends because they'll ruin your friendship, but you can't
Yeah,
live with a stranger because then they feed the homeless out of your kitchen.
yeah,
Like,
no, don't do roommates, guys. If you can live by yourselves, live by yourself.
if only we could afford it.
Yeah, no, like I
Right.
said, I like I said, I just don't like the idea of a roommate. My biggest fear is every time I think about moving to London, they were like, "Oh, why don't you go and share a flat with somebody?" I'm like, "No,
What's I said?
no,
I'm like, I live in
no."
a 1 bedroom
I've told him
apartment.
that numerous times. I'm like, just rent a room out of some, He's like, no.
No,
No.
I pay a lot of money to live by myself. And people are like, oh, why don't you just get a roommate and then you would have more money? And it's like, because I would be angrier. It's my quality of life. Like I have a 1 bedroom apartment, and honestly, sometimes that's not big enough for me and my cats. Like
Yeah, like I
I
said, like fuck that. It's not
I
worth
can
it.
easily live with other people. I think more what I need like is just alone time where you're not there. Like I want some time when nobody's there.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
well, with a
key.
roommate, that's a roommate. They're always going to be there. That's the thing. Like,
Not if they're working.
yeah, still, I don't like the idea of another person living that. Even if my as a friend, I don't like the idea. If it's a stranger, I'm definitely not gonna like the idea.
No, like my
Like,
best friend Amanda, we have never lived together and we probably never will because that would ruin our friendship.
Yeah.
Because I am a bit of a pack rat. I do have clutter and things like that. And she has always been a neat freak, like to the extreme. Like every time I've ever walked into her house, no matter what situation, other than right after she had her son, there for like the first year of his life, I was like, who lives here? This is not your house. She's like, I'm exhausted. I don't know. I mean, other than that, normally like a neat freak, it would not work because I would leave my lotion sitting out on the table or something. Hers is like ready for a magazine all the time. Like perfect. And I'm not that way.
I live with my best friend,
I'm
and
not
like
nasty, but I have clutter.
after like 6 years, 5 or 6 years, it would literally like was tearing us apart. Like it was literally like make or break for our friendship. We stopped living together. Now we're fine. Like we've been friends for like 12 years now. 13. I think this is like the 13th year that we've been friends. We're friends for 4, lived together for 5. Like it almost killed you. But the internet determined for that one, everyone sucks, which I agree with. Like, I think that like it was his kitchen and like stuff, but I can see why everyone sucks there.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. So we'll do this one because I think it's funny because it's about TikTok.
Okay.
Oh.
This is the last one.
Yeah.
I don't have TikTok though.
Yeah.
I don't.
Okay. So am I the asshole for ruining my boyfriend's clout on TikTok?
Fuck that.
Clout. I don't even know what that.
It's
That's
like-
like an
Like it
old
means like
person.
hype, like someone's popularity type of thing.
Yeah.
Cloud.
Yeah. So are they the asshole for ruining their boyfriend's clout on TikTok?
No, I don't give a shit about that.
I don't either. I think it's funny.
It depends.
If someone wants to come ruin me and Megan's show, I don't care.
We're still going.
Oh well, we're still gonna do it. We're still gonna do whatever we want to. We're not gonna change anything. I don't care.
Record it for us. We don't record it for views.
Yeah.
Although we're over $1 now, so we're really rolling in that money.
Right. We were at $1.10 today, so
thank you to everyone.
yeah.
Okay. So clarification so this doesn't get removed. I am not asking for judgment on my relationship. I am asking if I'm the asshole for duetting his video. So she did that thing where you split screen and react to their video.
Yeah.
Okay. So I am a 20-year-old female dating a 21-year-old man. He downloaded TikTok a while ago and developed a decent following. Nothing close to Charlie or anything, but around 80,000 followers, which is pretty impressive. Most of his videos are thirst trap type videos, basically just him being hot on camera, which I'm totally fine with. However, over the past month, he's been trying to push for more content because he wants to hit 100,000 followers before his birthday in April. He's gone from spending 2 to 3 hours filming per day to close to 6 hours filming and editing. He's still in school and I work during the day, so the time he spends filming is now cutting into the time we used to spend together. I brought it up to him 2 weeks ago and he said he'd try to make time for me, but hasn't yet. We haven't spent any time together at all this week, and last week he was an hour late to our date, which I left work early to get to, and the reason that he was late was that he was filming stuff. 2 days ago, he posted a day in the life. He filmed his daily routine, which was pretty accurate, but he also included a clip of us cuddling with the text over it that said, from 4 to 8, spending time with my girlfriend. I was a bit hurt by it. The clip he used was over 2 months old, and I honestly can't remember the last time he spent more than half an hour with me, let alone 4 hours. In response, I duetted his video and green screen screenshots of his text from when he ditched me to film, pushed back our dates by hours, canceled plans, etc. I admit it was petty, but I was upset that he was using our relationship for clout and boyfriend points with his followers when he wasn't putting any real effort into our relationship. My video blew up and his comments telling uh, telling him off for being neglectful and using me for clout skyrocketed. He's lost a chunk of followers as well. He's really upset with me and said that I had no reason to sabotage his TikTok account like I did, and that if I was upset with him, I should have just talked to him. He's begging me to post a follow-up video saying the screenshots were fake and vouch for him being a good boyfriend, but I'm refusing. I do feel bad because he's pretty dedicated to his account, and I feel guilty for being the reason he's losing followers, but I also feel that I was justified. Am I the asshole? And she has an edit. Other than this, he's been very good to me. We've had no other issues in the 2 years that we've been together.
No, he's the asshole. Fuck him.
She's not
problem.
She's not an asshole, but she is petty. The thing is, I never understand.
I love petty.
You know, my thing is, and I see, like, I understand people are busy, right? People have a life. People like to do what they do.
I would probably do something like that.
I would.
Like I said, my thing is, right? I'm not like that. If I have free time and I know the person I love has free time, I would love to be able to share that time with them, because this is how my train of thought always is in this type of situation. I might not be able to love you tomorrow, the next hour, so let me do it now, right? And I feel like people don't realize that. You know what I mean? Like you care about your TikTok or worry about your I don't know, your hobbies or whatever it is. Like I said, don't forget that if you are in a relationship with somebody, you have to give them time as well, right? You can't then say to them, oh, I'm going to edit 6-7 hours a day and I'm going to give you no time. Then it's not fair on the person that you are in a commitment with. You know what I mean? Because it makes them feel left out. It makes them feel like you have other plans and you got to do other things. You know what I mean? It's a shitty feeling in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like I said, me personally, if I have free time, I could happily spend all free time doing something with the person I love. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. Sometimes I like doing my own thing, but if I have the time to spend it with the person I love, I'd rather do that. You know what I mean? So he definitely is an asshole, right? Because he's pushing time away, and she's busy. She's working. She has a job. Like imagine that. Like imagine you come back from work. You're like, hey babe, let's cuddle, let's watch TV, and he's doing this on TikTok.
You right?
You know?
I'll be like, would you turn that shit off? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Like, you just come from a long shift and, you know, he's just there topless. Like, because she said he's making thirst trap videos.
Yeah.
He's like topless like this. You're like, what the fuck? What the fuck's wrong with you, bro? Like, what the? It's just ridiculous. People are ridiculous.
See, what I would do would be making a video with him in the background trying to make his video. I'd be like, this is what he does all the time.
Yeah, like, and I think that she's totally justified. I like that it was petty and it's real. Like, I swear to God, if somebody sat there and said, oh, I spent 4 hours with my girlfriend every single time, and you're like,
I'd be like, the fuck you do?
3 times this week, like, and especially to get more followers, like, that's so shitty.
I'll be like, all right, then you can have sex with your followers. I'm fucking
honestly, like, it's so disrespectful to do it. And I feel like if he had talked to her and been like, hey, I know I've been like really shitty and neglectful recently. I am going to post this, you know, but he didn't. He posted it and like somebody probably one of her friends probably sent it to her. She saw it and she was like, what? Like, because that's exactly it. Like you get like,
he was shitty for lying about it. Like he should have never done that.
Yeah. So like, yeah,
that was the wrong move.
Yeah, no. Like I said, I have a bad habit with this, to be honest. Like I said, I personally, I'll be super honest. Like I said, I sometimes get frustrated and stuff like that when I'm free time and I want to hang out with the person I love. I sometimes need to realize that they have a hobby, they like doing what they like to do, you know what I mean? But this is like totally different. Like she's just like he's like totally neglecting the
Yeah.
idea that it's not fair. Like I said, if he was doing it an hour a day, it's fine. You know what I mean? She's gotta understand he has a hobby, he likes to do something.
Yeah.
It's gotta be
He's
understandable.
canceling and
You
pushing
know what I
back
mean?
dates. Like it's so
Like I said,
terrible.
Not
what
for
would
TikTok.
that
For
would annoy
TikTok
me too.
followers.
Come
You
on.
know, yeah, that would annoy me too. Like if someone would say, yeah, we let's hang out, let's do this, and then it comes to the day, and they're like, oh, sorry, I'm busy doing on TikTok.
Like maybe
Like
you're
even
not
this
on
that me and
TikTok.
Megan do, like we've had to reschedule the day we record and things like that because our real lives come first. I mean, so we'll work around the real life.
Yeah, so whenever you see
Instead of-
something posted weirdly, that's why, because we have lives.
Yeah, we had real life
Yeah.
stuff that had to.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah, I thought that was like such a funny prompt.
Hey,
You're
babe,
like,
what are you doing today?
You're the clout on TikTok. Like, I can't believe that this is the world that we're living. It's so funny to me that like an $80,000 and I'm sure that he has sponsors. Like that's it. Like it is, and I get it. Like it is kind of a job.
No.
Like if you get enough followers, you can get sponsored. You can make money off of it.
Yeah, but like it's not worth making. Yeah, it's not worth.
Even if you are making money, is it worth losing
your girlfriend over it? No.
It's not worth
Especially
it.
for a 2-year relationship where they had no other issues.
Yeah.
And then the sponsorship is probably some bullshit thing like raises or some shit. Like, come on, bro.
Listen, don't knock sponsorships. If a razor company wants to sponsor us, I'm here for it.
Yeah. I will be happy to use your razor to shave my face on cam.
Yeah, I will shave my legs on camera with your razors. Like,
yeah,
fine. We'll make our own thirst trap video.
Right.
Shaving our terrible gorilla legs.
I do need to shave my legs right now.
I do too.
But I have blonde hair, so I don't really worry about it too much.
I just like
it's soft blonde hair. I don't get like spiky hairs or nothing like that.
You're like talking about
mine.
What?
What you gonna say?
You show us your legs?
I was gonna show you my legs, but
yeah.
Oh, show us.
Oh, I see.
I have gorilla eyes because you joked about gorilla legs. I have gorilla legs. I'm so hairy. Well, I'm not gonna show you.
Come on.
Razor company, if you're gonna sponsor someone, I've got the hair.
Yeah. I don't wear shorts or dresses enough to like care, and I had laser hair removal, so it's like it's patchy and like light in most areas, so it's like I don't care. Like I shave when I need to, but I don't think
I do wear shorts, but I still don't.
Yeah, but you have like the
no, but I feel like your hair seems to be very light, like on your arm. Like every human has hair.
Yeah, I have like a ton of hair on my arms. Like,
but you can't see.
Well, actually, it's been I don't know if it's fallen out or what, but it's a lot thinner than it used to be, even just like 2 months ago. And I don't understand why, but even still, I have tons of hair, and like as you can see, you can't see it. Like
my point was going to be that like I wasn't trying to call you hair. I was just trying to say that
I have a beard. You can't tell.
I get one hair like right here. It drives me nuts.
I actually do get some facial hair. Like I have sideburns, and I hate those. Like as a baby, I had so much hair on my back. It was like a big swirly tornado on my back of hair. Like I'm a very hairy person. It's just luckily it's very blonde and fine hair, so it's not noticeable.
That's good.
Yeah, I do pluck and shave this part though because I don't like it. The only reason I don't like it is when I put my makeup on, it like gets darker. Where
I touch my face too much, and anytime that I feel like because it's not like the nice
line that comes right here.
Yeah, it's not like the fine, like soft hair. It's like that prickly dark.
Yeah, hair. I have a prickly line of hair.
Just one of
them. Blonde.
Yeah, it's just one prickly hair that like comes in. So I always have tweezers nearby, and I always like yank it out. I call it my witch hair.
I have one ginger hair. I always get so excited when I see it. Oh my god, I have a ginger hair. Ask Lindsay, like I'll like snap a picture, like look. Half time you can't even see in the snap because I probably like moved or something. Look, it's a ginger hair. fine.
It's adorable.
All right, well, that's it for this week. I have real life plans to go to. I have
Me
a birthday
too.
dinner to go to, so.
I have a concert.
I have my bed and TV. Yeah.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Like, share, subscribe, all of it.
Thanks, Kingy, for joining us
Press-
again.
Thank you, Kingy,
Don't
for
forget-
joining.
Don't forget to press the notification bell for the next episode.
Yeah, hit the bell,
Yes.
subscribe.
Just this side or this side.
I don't know. I don't ever put the bell on there, so.
Either here or here. Or
Down.
here.
Yeah, I feel like it's down.
Or here.
Yeah.
Or there. Or there. Somewhere.
It'll be
Just
down
look-
there.
Just look
Hit
for
the
it.
bell. Get that notification.
Yeah. Bye.
All right, bye, everyone.